In the suburbs outside Indonesia's capital Jakarta, Cindy Noviani is making lunch for her son with a staple you'd find in any Indonesian kitchen, Indomie. It's the country's largest instant noodle brand and the second best-selling in Asia, after Japan's Nissin. And thanks to the Trump administration's trade policies, it could become even more affordable for Noviani and her family. Each month, she says they eat over 20 packets of Indomie, and they aren't alone. The noodles are a daily favorite for millions of Indonesians. Now, wheat from the US, a key ingredient in instant noodles, is going to be tariff-free. In July, a trade deal between the US and Indonesia eliminated tariffs of over 99% of US goods coming in, including wheat. That's likely to make it cheaper for Indomie and other instant noodles. It's also good news for Jakarta's vibrant street food scene. Roadside noodle stands thrive on its bustling corners. 44-year-old Mulyana runs a stall he says goes through more than 100 packets when it's busy. Cheaper noodles are a boost for him and could give Indonesia's noodle makers a leg up on the world stage too. That's according to Andri Satrio, an economics and finance researcher in Jakarta.
Harapannya adalah industri juga tertolong gitu ya. Apalagi kalau kita melihat bahwa
we hope the industry will also benefit, especially since the food and beverage industry has not yet returned to its pre-pandemic levels, where growth was in the double digits.
Jadi kita harapkan dengan biaya input yang turun gitu ya, tentu saja akan.
We hope that with lower input costs for the final product, these wheat flour-based processed products will be more competitive in the global and international markets.
Di pasar global, di internasional.
The new policy is likely to heat up competition among US wheat competitors. Right now, Indonesia's main source of wheat, Australia, still faces tariffs.
Ketika Vietnam itu dari tarif awal.
When Vietnam negotiated with the US government to lower its initial tariff to 20%, many people appreciated its success as they managed to negotiate with the US government.
Amerika. Sekarang pemerintah kita dari tarif awal.
Now, our government has lowered the initial tariff to 19%, which is lower than other ASEAN countries.
Ada di Asia. Tentu ini kemajuan yang juga tidak bisa dibilang kemajuan yang kecil.
This is certainly progress that cannot be called small, nor can it be called a small success. This is an extraordinary struggle by our negotiating team. This is an extraordinary negotiation by our president directly with President Trump.
Presiden kita secara langsung dengan Presiden Donald Trump.
This is a meeting point between our government and the US.
Amerika Serikat.
Surrounded by a sea of sewing machines, 62-year-old Deddy Mulyadi is contemplating uncertain times for his business in Indonesia. US President Donald Trump's new 19% tariffs on Indonesian goods would mean a tougher fight to keep it all afloat. The brutal reality for Daddy's 27-year-old factory, like many in Southeast Asia, is that it must adapt or risk collapse. He supplies clothes to major brands like H&M, Zara, and American Eagle. He says he's already seeing cancellations.
Prediksi kita jadi meleset. Biasanya rutin ya ke Amerika dan
all of our estimates have been thrown off. We usually export to the United States, and now with the tariff war hitting our regular market in the US, it's affected our margins.
Secara margin ya.
The US is Indonesia's largest market for garments and textiles, and last year, Indonesia sent more than half of its garments exports there. The tariff rate on Indonesian goods matches the 19% imposed on the Philippines, while Vietnam faces a 20% rate. If Indonesia's tariffs stay lower than competing countries, it may mean an edge for factories seeking US investment in making branded apparel. That is according to trade analyst Andri Satrio Nugroho.
Kita tahu bahwa Vietnam juga melakukan hal yang sama.
We know Vietnam also does the same thing, exporting their textile products to the US as well as other ASEAN countries. Of course, if our prices are much cheaper than these competitors, we will become the US's destination for investing in branded product manufacturing.
Satu destinasi investasi dari Amerika Serikat untuk produk-produk branded ya dari Amerika Serikat. Jadi,
so this could be an opportunity for us if the 19% tariffs on our products end up being the lowest among ASEAN countries.
Dibandingkan negara-negara ASEAN lain gitu.
But for Daddy, Clinging on to the American market alone is too risky. To survive, he set his sights beyond the US to keep his factory alive.
Kita juga sudah mencari merek-merek lain ya, merek-merek lain yang terutama
We've been looking for other brands, especially markets that are not related to America, so we're trying to reduce our focus on America.
lebih terbuka. Seperti Middle East, Timur Tengah itu kan juga peluang pasar besar.
The Middle East, for example, is a huge market opportunity. Then we're taking on brands that are not related to America, like those from Japan and Europe.
Negara-negara Eropa, itu jadi brandnya kan mereknya berbeda.
So that's our goal, especially to look for new market prospects and start approaching countries that are not American markets.
Coba dicoba di lobby, karena ada beberapa kita coba pendekatan-pendekatan dengan negara-negara non-Amerika.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.